Hey everyone, Norman Kuhns here with Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host. We have your co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan.
Hello, everybody.
And we have the one and the only. Welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology. Well, you'll get the inside scoop from top producing real estate professionals all around the country, best practices, techniques, and learn about what technology they're using to drive to ensure their success in this world we call real estate. Gogo, she's top 3 realtor in the nation. She's based in Michigan, and she has Gogo's Boot Camp. Thank you so much, Gogo, for being on today's podcast, and welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's my honor.
Of course, of course. So we have some questions for you. We want to deep dive into your business, find out what technology you're using that's helped you have success in this world of real estate. So first and foremost, where do you work? How long you been in the business, and why did you get in the business? Give us your story.
Sure. So I got licensed in 2011. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. My boys were about 2 and 4, just a little under. And I realized very soon, about a year and a half in, being a stay-at-home mom is not for me. And, actually it was my neighbor's idea. I was on the driveway with the kids, and she walked up to me, and she is marketing director for a local title company. And she said, Gogo, you're so good on social medias, and you have so many friends, and you're so easy to get along with, and I can literally talk to anyone. I can go to the grocery store and leave it, and I'm the mayor of the town. So she's like, why don't you go into real estate? And she said, I already talked to a broker. Just go and talk to them. So I was like, I watch AJJB. I could totally do this. So I went and talked to the broker, Real Estate One at the time. They offered me a job. They even offered to pay for my school if I passed it. I did. I was with them for 6.5 years. I did everything on social media. I outgrew them because by the time 6.5 years in, I had tens of thousands of followers, and the company that I was with, they were Michigan-based only. So I couldn't refer agents outside. I would refer them to Remax and Gogo Bethke, Century 21, and all those other ones, but really there was no way for me to get paid for my time that I invested with that agent. And so I soon realized, I'm like, I kind of need to make a change. I need to be able to monetize on that if I'm spending, because money is time. So if I'm taking an hour to talk to an agent, or time is money, I should say. If I'm talking this time to talk to an agent, I could use that time to sell a house. How much is that hourly rate worth? So, I have to calculate that. So soon I realized, even though I enjoy doing this, it's taken away from income. And so KW got to me 2018, February, I switched to them. I was with them because of profit share. I was with them for about 8 months. October 1st of 2018, I switched to EXP. And now I've been with them since then. So about like year and 3 months or something like that.
Awesome. Wow. That's awesome. That's a cool story. So I heard EXP doing really well. I mean, I think they just went public, right?
Yes. Well, they were public, I think, by the time I joined.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Awesome. Fantastic.
Perfect. And then in terms of, I know you're doing a lot more coaching now. You're not so much in the production of the everyday agent, but what would you say are the top technology that you're using to help you in your business right now?
Oh gosh, it would have to be the social media platforms. Yeah. So for me, it's Instagram and Facebook for sure. It's always been Facebook so how should I say it? It changed through the years. Initially, I started my Facebook page, and that was only for local business. So all of the followers on that page were everybody that's interested or had some sort of an interest in my career or in the local real estate market. And all of my leads always came from social media. I never bought leads. I never bought leads from Zillow or Trulia's or any of the other sites. I always generated everything organically from Facebook. Then when probably about 4 years in, you get to a point in your career where it's time for, can I say this? Vent. I'm going to use the word vent. It's much better than the other word that I wanted to use. And so I didn't want to vent on the page where all of my clients following me. So I figured, I'm going to take my venting over to another platform, and that's how Instagram came about. So on Instagram, I started to show the good, bad, and the ugly on the realtor side of what it takes to be a realtor. So organically, most of those people that follow me are, I would say, probably 95% realtors, because they were the one who could understand my pain of being a business owner, mom, entrepreneur, all of the downsides and upsides of the real estate roller coaster. And so that started growing. And as that started going, then I started kind of slowly changing because people would ask me the same question over and over again, social media related. How do you generate leads organically? How did you build your brand? How? And I would answer those individually. And at one point I realized I cannot answer the same question 15 times a day. I'm going to lose my mind.
No way.
So then I started the coaching business. So Gogo's Bootcamp, that's when it started, and how it is for realtors. It's answering all of those questions, pretty much how I run business with the power of social media and all of the systems, and pretty much what it takes from start to finish, how to hire an assistant, when, how to build a team, how to make passive income, affiliate links, all of those stuff. And so then that started with the power of Instagram, pretty much. And then that kind of took away, when you learn to make money in other ways, then you no longer have to chase that commission anymore. Now, I still, don't get me wrong, I'm still in production. Now, also, my husband is out of corporate America. He does all of our production now. Well, I can't say all because I still do it myself, but the plan is he's going to do all of it.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much how it goes down on a day-to-day. And then also when I switched to EXP, again, with the power of social media, I was able to build a team nationwide and internationally. So that's another source of passive income. So it's kind of just what's closest to me and what I want to do when I grow up is coaching and sharing the knowledge, and kind of like inspirational, cute little Tony Robbins 5'2" version. and that you can have your cake and eat it too, I guess. You can be full-time in production and then travel the country every 3 years and speak in front of agents and, do podcasts. I can split myself. So something to give.
That's awesome.
Awesome. I love, really quick, I love how I meet agents all the time, and they're more fearful of, oh, I don't want anyone else seeing what I'm doing, and what if they see what I'm doing and they try to do the same thing I'm doing? Like, you took that opportunity and said, well, I see all of these people asking me questions, all these real estate professionals. There has to be something here, and you went in that direction instead of being like, oh, I'm not answering your question or ignoring these individuals, and then you went in that direction, almost like the universe taking you there. Like the Lord was like, here, this is your calling, this is where you need to do, this is where you need to go. That's
so I can give you a perfect example. We did a new construction video here locally with one of our preferred builders here locally, and I'm not kidding you, one of the local teams created the same exact video with the same builder in the same room, in the same everything. My husband is like, come look at this, it's our video. Pretty much they just redid it. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. So when you decide to do social media, you also have to know your worth, and you also have to know what you bring to the table and who you are. And I know nobody's going to be Gogo. I know even if they copy my videos, they're not going to be able to do what I do, say the way I say it. We all have our monkeys, I call them. We all have our followers, the people that feel like they would be your best friend if they could get to meet you. And so I feel like nobody can really take that away from you. Now, if they take and implement the things that you've done, that's why I'm doing it. I mean, that's the whole point of sharing, is to make sure that they can take it and they can implement it and they can run with it. But if you're afraid of them being able to take away from you, then you must not believe in your own abilities enough. And that's why you don't share.
Yeah, that's totally true. I think it's giving back and creating that mentorship, and that gives you more influence, right? It inspires others to magnetize to you. Yeah. So I think that's awesome. And then last question for me on this topic: CRMs, dialers, tech. Like, what do you suggest?
Write it down. Okay, I took some notes. I'm ready.
Awesome. Love it.
So because I do everything on social media, I guess the easiest way to do this is to kind of just walk down on my Instagram and how I do things. So I only have one link now on my Instagram bio. I used to have a Linktree. We just switched it over to gogobethke.com, which is a ClickFunnels based site. The reason why I Linktree, I loved it and I still have it. I didn't discontinue my account. So if you don't have, well, let's back it up. On Instagram, you can only put one link. Now, us as realtors, we wear a lot of hats. We want to do free CMEs, we want to do buyer consultation, we're going to do podcasts and events, and everything that you do that generates you money should be in your links. Now, originally, I used to use Linktree. If you don't have one, create one. It's free. Now I use gogobethke.com. So if you just go on gogobethke.com, it's a ClickFunnels based website. I just like this one better because on this one I could include videos, and videos are a huge part of my business. Like, that's how I generate everything. And so on this one, there are different tabs, and you can go to your seller, go to that tab, or your buyer, go to this tab. You want to invite me to a podcast, go to this tab. You want to listen to the podcast that I attended in the past, go to this tab. You want to invite me to events, go to this tab. You want to partner with us, go to this tab. So pretty much everything, and it just takes you to almost like a whole other site that just shows you all kinds of videos. Like, And the listing one, for example, it shows them all of the previous videos we created to our seller, no cost to them. Like, videos are huge. And I think if you can sell yourself without selling yourself, if they can just see what you do and they already made the decision when they reach out to you, it's so much easier than having to go into multiple interviewing process for a listing presentation.
Yeah.
So that, and if anybody likes the gogobethke.com, if you like it, in the very bottom of it, there's a link that says get a site just like this. I want to say, if you use that link, your sign-up fee is 50% less, but it's only like $19 a month, and you can customize it to any brokerage, any business, pretty much anything that generates you money in any way in your entrepreneurial life, you can add it to it. And they're awesome. They update it within 24 hours if you have any updates. Because, like, you know, as my speaking engagements come in, all of those videos, all of those flyers have to be added, the Evite links have to be added, and they're very good at updating those links. And I just figured I'd give it a try to see what it's like to have more of a video base, more of a different page link, and that's called Cards, C-R-D-Z. But if you go to gogobethke.com, you can check that out.
Cool.
And then the CRM programs that I use is LionDesk. I had that forever, and I also have KV Core. Now, I am a firm believer that you should own your data. Granted, unless you build your own CRM program, you're not going to really own it, but I always have two. KV Core I use for everything buy side or listing side lead generation, but it also automatically feeds to my LionDesk, and they get tagged for sellers, buyers, past clients, sphere of influence, all that stuff. So LionDesk holds everything. So anybody that ever contacts me on my smart number, I'll grab their information. I guess let's talk about smart numbers. You should not have just a simple cell phone number up there on your marketing things. You should have a smart number. You can get a smart number from many different CRM programs. Mine is now through KV Core. It rings to my husband's phone because I can't answer it anymore. But we capture all the information, feeds it to our KV Core, and that feeds it to LionDesk and backs it up. LionDesk I also use for bootcamp stuff, all of the events, all of the promotional stuff that are not tied to a real estate transaction, where we have to reach agents or sphere of influence locally if you're doing an event or things like that. So just kind of more on the touch base and just hold data that we use LionDesk for. HomeSnap is an awesome app that I like to use. So you know how sometimes you are in a transaction and the other end of the transaction, the other agent, you're not sure if they're cocky because they've been in the business forever or they don't know what is going on. Yeah. And so I like to snoop on other agents, and HomeSnap is just an awesome app for that. You can search for any agent and see their production.
Love it.
You can just kind of see who you're dealing with, you know what I mean? And then just kind of be like, come on, like, bring the tone of your voice down. I don't get paid unless you get paid, unless you sell this property. So let's just get to the closing table. And HomeSnap is also good for many other things. They do have marketing campaigns, Facebook ads and things like that. If you're not good with that on your own, you can use their services. Photo editing. So if anybody wants to do social media, that is your storefront. So posting a photo that's blurry of your cat is not a good idea. Trying to sell a property. So I think editing your photos and understanding that is your storefront, and you need to make it pretty, because if it's not appetizing, they're not going to come in and buy something.
Yep.
I mean, so for those, I use two apps, and I use over and over again. One is 365, Perfect 365. And then the other one is called Darkroom. Both of them are just amazing. Use it for different reasons. Perfect 365 helps like facial blemish, make your face like a closer up photo better looking. And then also the Darkroom just applies filters and things like that makes your photos just pop. Cool.
Awesome.
Love it.
Did you know, I also use LinkedIn. Did you know that you can download your whole database on LinkedIn? And it will give you their name, their phone number, their email address. I mean, 20% of the phone numbers, but 100% of the email addresses.
That's amazing.
I was mind blown. So you can do that. You can add them to your database and then use them, especially if you have a coaching program or if you have a podcast. Mm-hmm. Everybody who's already decided to be your friend and following you on LinkedIn, now they can be aware of everything that you do. So that's an awesome tool. Wow. Did you also know that out of all social media platforms, LinkedIn has the highest income?
Yep.
If you want to find sellers and buyers, look on LinkedIn.
There you go.
Those are the ones that can afford to sell or buy.
Yep.
Google Drive is a big one for us. I share a lot of my documents, like my lead tracker and my marketing agreement and all these things. But of course, we do it we collect data. I do share my knowledge, but I collect their information in return. And so for that, we use many times Google Docs. So we create the document. It is not password protected, but they have to enter the name, email address, sometimes even phone number to get access to the download. We also unbrand everything. So when I share it, my brand is nowhere on there, so they can make it their own. So that we use that a lot for what is it called, to collect information. Also, Google Docs and Drive and Share and all of the other things, we use it all the time. I mean, you have to store your awesome photos, like with all of my listings, the photos and videos we do is no cost to my sellers, but I use professional photographers and videographers. So we store that in Dropbox. And then we also just anything that you need to share, like, with Sammy or with my other videographer, we'll drop things to each other and then we just share that folder so everybody can have access to it. So Google is just pretty much has it all.
Love it.
And then when you created your Google Doc and everything is, you have your questionnaire and they fill it out. Now you also want that information to automatically go to your CRM program. You don't want to have to manually upload that. And for that, we use Zapier. So you take the document, you feed it to it, pretty much going to ask you, where is it coming from, where is it going? It's that simple. You feed it from one to the other, and now everything is automatically uploaded and it's tagged properly, so it removes that manual work and makes our life easier. Google Calendar, if you guys saw, we were talking about this just a minute ago. Yeah. I could live my life without Google Calendar. Everything I do is in there. I pretty much at the point, I used to have a memory of an elephant where I didn't have to notes, I didn't have to set reminders, I didn't have to do any of that on the clock. I would remember. Good old days. Don't have that going on anymore. I'm constantly like, oh shoot, I forgot that. Even with my reminders, my phone is so busy, it's so many things on the screen that sometimes I just overlook things even now being in my calendar, but I could not live my life without a Google Calendar. The way I do it, everything is color coordinated. So if it's green in there, it means Christy is doing it, my assistant or full-time office manager, and means that I do not have to be there, but I just kind of like to know that she got it done or she's attending those things. If it's blue, it's a family event with our boys. Sometimes I know if I have to be there, sometimes we just do it knowing that whoever put it in there first. If I put it in there first with my husband, that means if he wants to do something at the same time, he's going to have to find a sitter.
Nice.
So
that's a good system.
Whoever puts something in the calendar first, the other one, if they want to do something at the same time, they're responsible for finding a sitter. Because we were running into like, oh, I didn't know. Like if I do a nail appointment, it's very simple. But if I have a nail appointment, I can't take my boys with me.
No.
I'm not going to add my husband to that calendar because he doesn't need to go with me. But I need him to know, because if he has something going on at the same time, he's going to have to find a sitter. Because I put the nail appointment in the calendar first. So that kind of stuff. And it just makes your life so much easier when everything is color coordinated and you know what means what. I also have like podcasts and things like that. Depending if I physically have to be somewhere, that's a red in my calendar, meaning that the hour is black, but I also have to drive or fly or something. I have to get there, so I have to calculate for time before and after. If it's in my calendar, then it's a blue color. That means I'm doing something family related, and then a different color purple is I'm doing it, but I don't physically have to be somewhere like a podcast.
That's awesome.
Got it.
Cool.
Awesome.
So the next one is also calendar related, but it allows people to have access to your calendar. Now, I don't want them to see what I'm doing at the time. I just want them to see that I am busy or not busy. So if they want to book themselves into my calendar, they can. And for that, we use Calendly.
Yep.
So
that's awesome.
Pretty much you go in, you create all of your different events. We have EXP calls, we have three-way calls, we have whatever that you want to give people access to have access to you. You put it in there, you set the terms. You can set 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. We have buyer presentations, we have listing presentations where sellers can go in there and automatically just pick a time when it's good for them. And then it will sync with your Google Calendar, so it will show only the times that are available, that you're not doing anything else. And that's another way of automating things and removing the back and forth of like, I'm available Tuesday at 2:30. Oh no, I'm not. Okay, how about
I hate that.
Like I don't have that back and forth. Just saved me 30 minutes of my life.
That's our
Yep. I send the link. Here it is.
And that's Calendly. Yeah.
Love
So these are pretty much how we run business.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it definitely. Now I understand why you have Gogo's Bootcamp. It's becoming more and more clear. I'm like, okay, man, you're just a firehouse. It's like, all right, this is what it is. Make sure if you didn't get it, rewatch this again.
Yes. Yeah. So it's over 20 hours of training and pretty much everything. So even though what I do is bit the power of social media, you still need to run a business in the background. I mean, it takes a lot of apps and a lot of people to run the show. You know, it takes a village to raise a family, as they say. It also takes a village to run a business. And I have multiple businesses, so that's even more complicated. So without systems and technologies in places, you won't be able to do it properly.
No.
And that's what pretty much that teaches. It teaches that agent of how to go from a startup, just an agent, to be an entrepreneur, to have employees, to build a team, to make passive income, to have affiliate revenue income, to sell, video-based luxury properties, to lead generate on your own without having to do the Zillows and Trulias, to run a Facebook ad, how to build that, how to set up your pixel, pretty much everything that you need to run an organic social media-based business. It's included in my bootcamp. And it also comes with a Facebook group. So we do live training once a month, and it's kind of like a homework-based live training. Every month we have homework. We do a live training, then they have a month to get it done. Everything is video recorded, so they can join anytime. They would get the same service. They just go back to that month's training and pretty much do the homework the next month, do the homework next month. So I kind of look at it as like you building your social media house.
Yeah.
Start with the foundation, you set up everything properly, then we build on every month after that. So that's the bootcamp.
That's amazing.
That's cool. That's amazing. So now we have a better understanding of like who you are, how you got started. Now you have Gogo Bootcamp. You're really growing that. Now, where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
Well, I truly love talking to people.
Okay.
That is my all-time high. I love anything inspirational. I love sharing knowledge and life and just kind of, being together with other people. So, and this is not an EXP pitch by any means, so please do not take it like that. But it is a big chunk of my life and why I chose to go with that company. So it allows us to build or partner up, I should say, with other agents, not only in the country, because with Real Estate One, I was limited to the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
With KW, we weren't limited national because they're a national company and also international. But technically, they opened my eyes up to what profit share means and then what revenue share means. And then as you grow in the industry, you don't know what you don't know until you're faced with it. After you learn it, you realize, hold on a minute, I didn't know that existed. And then you move on to the next one, like, oh my gosh, what's the next level and what's the next level?
Yeah.
And that's how I got to, so what I want to do is inspire others, partner with them, be in business together, grow together, travel, teach, coach. Eventually that will have to remove transactions from my plate. But because of that, now my husband is full-time. Realtor, he left corporate America, so he can pick up everything here locally. So then I can go on, and I also starting my own podcast. It's not official yet.
Love it.
But it will be starting here soon. And so that's the other thing. So truly, I just want to be able to teach and coach and learn myself from many, many others. So to be able to attend all of these awesome nationwide events that it just takes you to the next level in your life and wherever you're at. That just allows to time freedom.
It's awesome.
That's great. I can see your vision. I can see where you want to go, and that makes a world of difference. That's amazing. So we have a couple last questions to wrap things up. Dan has one for you. I have one for me. For you. So go ahead, Dan.
Last question from me is: say you're an agent, just got your license. What's the biggest tip that you can provide that you can see as inspiration to help them with their business and growing?
So I have to use sphere of influence probably is the best one. Also, it has the negative side to it, and I'll tell you that in a second. But video is huge. So the easiest thing you can do in the most cost-effective way, well, I'll give you two tips, video and coffee. Video, you take your cell phone, selfie mode, right here. You take a quick 15-second video. Hey, just want to remind you, I don't know if you saw it, but I'm a realtor now. I would love to. We have been friends forever. I would love to be able to represent you with any of your real estate needs. Let's grab coffee. So you just shoot that. You can do 10, 15 of those on Facebook a day. Don't do more than 15 because Facebook is going to spam your account. So you don't want to do more than more than 15. But you also can text that to your database. So you just pretty much print your database and start with the letter A's and do 15 and text them. Same video. All 15 of them. The next day, letter B, C. And then just go through your whole database and then just kind of do that up front. Then also nurture your database. So if you can do coffees and lunches and hit them up on their anniversaries and dates and stuff like that. The way I look at it, everybody needs a roof above their head. I don't know a single person. I mean, granted, there are some unfortunate people who do not have a roof above their head, but 99% of the people will need a roof above their head, being a rental, being a home to own, maybe sell by, they're going to get married, they're going to get divorced, they're going to have a baby, they're going to outgrow it, kids going to college, downsizing, all those different features. So if you stay in touch with your database, that's a huge portion.
Yep.
Also, if they're happy with your services, so if you're able to do a 5-star or 5-star service, I guess, then they are more than happy to also refer their friends and family, and that's how you can grow. So yeah, to start out, I would do the videos and I would text it to everybody until I go to my full database.
Great advice. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, and of course, social media. I mean, I have
Exactly.
on social media.
I love it. So a couple last things. So any books would you recommend?
Oh, the one that changed my life. It is The Greatest Salesman in the World. Have you seen it?
I've seen
Have
it.
you read it?
Oh, okay.
It's a pocket book. It is kind of starts out being like a religious based, and I got that from my very first coach. And she's like, read this book. And I was like, started reading, and it kind of starts out slow. And I was like, it's about Jesus. And I was like, how on earth? And don't get me wrong, I love my God and I love Jesus by all means. I just couldn't put it together. How is this tied to business? How is this going to help me get to where I want to be and be the best salesman? So said saleswoman, I guess, in the area. It's an awesome book. It's a very easy read. When you get to the scrolls, it will change your life.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, now closing out the show, we like to take this segment to go ahead and let the floor be yours. And so tell the listeners and the viewers what you got going on, what you would like to share, and go ahead, take it away.
Oh, thank you, guys. I guess the easiest way to get a hold of me or see who I am or follow along the journey is Gogo's Real Estate on any of the platforms, or Gogo Bethke. The ones that I'm most active on is Instagram. So the quickest way to get a hold of me, if you need to get a hold of me, is Instagram. Also, feel free to go to gogobethke.com if you want to plug yourself into my calendar, if you want to watch any of the videos, if you want to learn more about EXP, if you want to book me for a podcast or an event, if I can help you in any way in your marketing or social media growth. If you're ready to pull the trigger and ready to learn, like really dive into training and build your social media storefront, then go to gogosbootcamp.com. I think that's it. But gogobethke.com you will have access to any angle of me that you can think of, but Gogo's Bootcamp is where you can start your trading.
Amazing.
Wow, that was amazing. So plethora of great information. So I'm sure our listeners and viewers will be able to take something from this and apply it to their business. And be sure, follow Gogo. We really appreciate you being on the show today. And we wish everyone massive success that's watching or listening. And until the next one, take care.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found value and took something you can apply to your business today. Be sure to join our community on Facebook, Real Estate vs. Technology, all spelled out. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would appreciate it. It's Real Estate Tech. And of course, if you or someone else you know would like to be a part of our show, just go ahead and send us an email. It's reversetechtalk@gmail.com, and we'll see you next week.